Issues that concern Nigeria and also that of other states can be heard on national issues that concern Nigeria and also that of other states can be heard on the Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio with the host Fisayomi Ajibola every weekdays, Mondays to Fridays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You won't want to miss it.
And fantastic morning to you once again on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Welcome to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and definitely on Periscope, we'll always bring to you topical issues. We bring to you burning issues, bring to the front burner, and of course we have interactive time to discuss and dissect, holistically look into different issues definitely that we see in our dealings this every time, every moment. So you can always trust Al-IyamoyeTv and radio to bring to you your listening pleasure and of course your visual pleasure, great content right here on this dial. All right, welcome once again to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. My name is MODUPE AKINYOSOYE, and of course one of the burning issues that is actually happening in the country presently is what we'll be discussing this morning. You are familiar, or you would have come across the commissioning of Dangote Refinery that was inaugurated by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, yesterday in Lagos. Of course, we will be looking into that situation this morning on Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. So welcome. I'm sure you will have a very fantastic conversation with us this morning. You can always drop your comment just below the video on Facebook. You drop your comments, your question, any reaction you have concerning the discussion this morning, and definitely we would appreciate. Now, talking about the refinery, Dangote Refinery that was commissioned yesterday, Nigeria has actually been battling with low quantity of oil production, primarily due to the reduced quota allocation from the OPEC, that's the Organization of Oil Producing Countries, as well as the unending oil theft and bunkering going on in the creeks of the Niger Delta region. So today, production is said to be fluctuating between 1.2 to 1.8 million barrels per day. However, the four refineries, of the country situated in Rivers, in Delta, and Kaduna states have not been functional to be able to refine a reasonable amount of petrol for the country, and so that results to the country exporting the crude and then for refining and then importing again for consumption. But with a capacity of refined 650,000 barrels per day, the Dangote Refinery is expected to bring succor to Nigeria's local refining capacity. So the commissioning of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Complex, Africa's largest petrochemical refinery and the world's largest single-train petroleum refining facility, was held yesterday with several dignitaries actually in attendance, which of course inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari, the outgoing president at Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos, which is actually expected to enable Nigeria achieve self-sufficiency in refined product and even have surplus for export. And the Dangote Refinery is expected to generate 12,000 megawatts of electricity. It is also expected that over 135,000 permanent jobs will be available to Nigerians as operations begin, and also save Nigeria between $25,000 and $30 billion rather in forex annually, providing $10 billion yearly inflows to the country's economy. Actually, when you look into the economical benefits and advantages of this commissioning of Dangote Refinery, you will see where we are going. Actually, where we are going with this achievement for Nigeria and even Africa at large is what we'll be looking into this morning. All sides to it, and some have the a sentiment or opinion, so to say, that this does not solve the problem 100%. All of that actually is what we'll be looking at this morning. And joining me as my guest, of course, is a friend of the house, is Oluwafisayomi Ajibola. He is a broadcaster, journalist, and brand analyst, a blogger and communication strategist, among many of his expertise. Of course, he is here joining me, and we'll be discussing this issue together on the Dangote Refinery. Of course, we've had different reactions to the commissioning of the refinery, which happened yesterday. So we'll be doing this, having this conversation with him this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Welcome, and thank you for joining
Okay.
on Periscope this
always
morning.
A pleasure.
All right, so Dangote Refinery, 650,000 barrels per day capacity. And, many Nigerians have said that it's a great achievement for Nigeria as a whole, while some, in some quarters, would say, even with the capacity this refinery will bring, we still have some loopholes. We cannot 100%, rely on this achievement. But let's start with this. What is your overview on the newly commissioned Dangote Refinery?
Okay, thank you. I think we shouldn't be celebrating yet.
Okay.
Yes, it's been inaugurated. Yes, thumb up. Let's give it to the businessman who deemed it fit to establish a refinery in Nigeria. But I don't see a call for celebration yet of what he has done.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
I think it is a time for us to look at our country called Nigeria. This administration, which has about 7 days or more to leave, when coming into power in 2015, one of their promises was that in every 2 years they are going to build a refinery. And this is 8 years. 7 days to 8 years. And no single refinery built by this administration. Built by this administration.
Okay.
We have 4 refineries in Nigeria. 3 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Warri and 1 in Kaduna. These refineries have been left moribund. They are in dilapidated conditions. When this government assumed power, one of it was still functioning in an epileptic manner, but died virtually 1 or 2 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Now, this refinery that has not produced a liter of oil has over time, in every 2-3 years, about $27 billion has been used to maintain, to try to fix this refinery. How much did Dangote use to build this refinery?
$19
billion. And we have spent $27 billion in every 3 years in Nigeria to maintain a refinery that has not given 1 liter of petrol or 1 liter of crude. We have crude. We don't import crude. We export our crude. We'll get our crude there, take it abroad for refinery, and we pay for refining, and we get the products. I think that is a discussion for another day. Because why should we be paying the person refining us? Why can't we pay with products? Do you know how many things that have been gotten from crude, petrol, diesel, kerosene, gas, different things?
Turbine, aviation fuel.
Can we say, okay, refine for us, take the aviation fuel, let's use it as means of payment. Let's leave that. Now, this refinery, They told us that this refinery will be giving us 650,000 barrels per day. Upload. Thank you. Let's ask ourselves, what's our consumption in Nigeria? Don't forget that this man told us that 40% will be exported and 60% will be consumed by Nigeria. He has promised over 53 countries in Africa that I'm going to be giving you crude. I'm going to be giving you different products from this crude. This person is going to buy crude from Nigeria and they will refine
yes,
and sell back to Nigerians. See, let July come. The fanfare, the noise around the inauguration of this refinery, you would think that by tomorrow a tanker will reverse into the compound and give us petrol. This is, don't forget, it is our style in Nigeria though. Is it not this country that we use billions of naira to commission Air Nigeria logo and party? One single tires of aircraft we do not have. And we are celebrating Air Nigeria. Air Nigeria that is not functioning yet. They told us in 6 months Air Nigeria will come. This is 7 days to the end of tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, and not even a picture of Air Nigeria have we seen on there. Not to talk of the craft. This same government went to China to borrow billions of dollars for a CCTV project, that everywhere in Abuja there will be CCTV all around, from the road, from the airport to streets, everywhere. Where is the CCTV? It was commissioned at Minfo Fair. It was commissioned with blockage of roads. Many leaders from different parts of the world who came into Nigeria to celebrate it. What happened? Not even one CCTV.
But don't you see that problem as more of maybe corruption, can be traced to corruption or mismanagement of
It is a case of misplaced
resources.
priorities.
Okay.
It is a case of misplaced priorities, and I don't expect an industrialist, a capitalist like Dangote to toe that path if truly he owns the refinery 100%. If truly he owns it 100%, I don't expect him to toe that path. Because this is a part in Nigeria that, okay, I want to buy goods. Good. We'll do party. We'll buy rice. We'll call all those people necessary. We'll rent oil. All. We'll do party. We'll drink because we want to buy goods. We have spent more than the money to buy the goods in celebrating the ambition of buying goods. And that is the same thing that we are doing here. Yes, in this instance, you will say, oh, the structure is ready, everything is ready. It's just for us to start producing by July. This is May.
Yes.
June. By July, let's wait and see. And another thing, why we should not even be celebrating yet. The man behind this project is a businessman who he would determine the price of the petrol.
Refined products.
Yes. Don't forget that we are buying at 100. Okay, they have thrown the price open.
Oh, yes.
Some are selling for 185,
regulated.
195, 200. If this man is buying crude from Nigeria, he can decide to sell 500 naira per liter. You can't do anything.
Which we don't know yet.
Yes. He's a businessman. Except if there is a deal between him and the federal government to subsidize for it. But what shows that there is no such a deal was a statement from the Central Bank governor at this inauguration yesterday. He said, this is a great project, and fortunately, the owner of the project has paid up to 80% of the money borrowed before the kickoff of this. Where did you see the money? I would say, okay, I'm opening a shop. I'm celebrating opening the shop. And I went to a bank to take a loan. And I've not started sowing one plot. And you, the banker, is telling me that I paid the money.
But don't forget that Dangote has other sources of other means.
Let me tell you, he is an industrialist. He is a businessman. He will never establish such a business without sharing risk. He would never establish such business without sharing risks. He would not use his personal money to pay for a dime. They will share risk. So it's sounding more like there are some people behind it who are sponsoring it.
Okay.
I want to ask you one question, and I want our listeners at home also to reply me. The president-elect came back to Nigeria a few days ago. Is he at the event?
It was reported that he was absent.
It's what that signals to you that there is a business deal that he might not be comfortable with in that refinery deal.
Because I was still coming there, because I saw the reports that the president-elect and talking about fuel subsidy, talking about the removal and all that, because it's going to definitely affect a whole lot.
Yes.
And he was not there, but you already mentioned.
Don't forget that this administration that is going to come to a halt in next 7 days has gone to borrow $800 million to pushing the effect of subsidy removal that will take place in June in another person's government. You have gone to borrow $800 million to say you want to use it to help the economy, so that by the time you pull out the subsidy, it will not affect Nigeria. Are you the one that will pull it out? And you are borrowed bese for somebody who has not assumed government. What if the person assume office and say, I'm not removing the subsidy? Where is the $800 million? That is why I said we shouldn't be celebrating this refinery yet. Okay. If it's a good one, great. An individual has done something that is huge, a first of its kind, 650,000 barrels per day. Great. What is our consumption? According to Worldometer, an organization that is behind what barrels people consume per day. What Nigeria is consuming about 480,000 barrels per day. This man says he's going to be producing more than what Nigerian is consuming, and he said he's going to be giving the remaining to another country. Now let's see. If 53 other African countries are on the line to pay for the services, don't you think it will give them more than give Nigeria? Let's see the one Nigerian government is doing. Power. Nigerian government is generating power. There are neighboring African countries that the federal government supplies more than Nigeria, because they get to generate more money there. That is federal government. And let's talk about an individual. He would do that automatically.
Definitely, you started with the because we will still talk about the disadvantage, but I think you started with the bad note of
because there is no so much good for us to celebrate in it yet.
Okay, so let's fast forward or see the lighter side of this, or the brighter side of this refinery. Do you see any economic benefit? Do you even see any benefits in the refinery? Though it has been claimed that it has the capacity to provide for 100% Nigerian consumption, but at least, because with your review now, I don't see it even moving close to 100%.
They said employment.
Yes,
it's going to provide employment, direct employment, and indirect employment, job opportunities. Great. It's okay. But what effect will it have on our economy? There are so many international businesses in this country that they transact in dollars, despite being domiciled in Nigeria, where our legal tender is naira. If it's going to be operating with dollar, that means that transaction is going to be beneficial to that country that sells in dollars. It's in Nigeria that you want to buy something, you will see $5. You will pay $5. That company is in Nigeria. That means you are enriching, yes, you are making another economy to be better instead of us. There are some developed countries like China. China will not transact any business in dollar because they want to put a shape to their own yen and co. What bets the usage of euro? Because they believe we are enriching a particular government. We are enriching a particular country. Now, in all of this money we are mentioning about the refinery, have you heard naira? $800 million, something dollar, dirty dollar. Don't forget. We won't be surprised if it will be $1 per liter. Maybe that's what the person will be selling.
So you don't even see any value this will bring to the currency in any way.
See, Nigeria already is on a gunpowder. I don't want to sound more like a messenger of doom, because if you look at our debt profile, it's screaming. And now you are erecting this. I will have sit here and talk so much about the advantage of the refinery is being done by the federal government. But because it's being done by an individual, a company, I don't want to use that word individual again, because it does not want it as an individual. A company, and a company who is different from the federal government has done what the federal government should do. See, the federal government, I expect that in the president's speech, he should acknowledge that it is shameful that we could not do it, but somebody else has done it. That is why we said, don't let us be enemy of progress, we will come and fence. Instead of you to start according the landmark achievement to your administration. Your administration that told us that we are going to build refinery every 2 years. You did not tell us you are going to help resuscitate the ones that are dying. You said you will build. But you could not in 8 years. And somebody else did his own. And you are going there amid fanfare, beating drum. That, oh, I had an achievement at the twilight of the government.
Because according to reports too, Dangote himself said that Buhari is one of the people that, encouraged him even when he wanted to quit and all that, and maybe his administration, maybe one way or the other, the president had encouraged and then help in the success of
my sister. It's a case of you getting married and your father and your mother are there. You can't stand up and say, I have a useless mother, even if your mother is useless. At that function, you will say, all glory to my mother. But inside you know that the mother did not contribute a quota to your success. That is the case. You can't expect Dangote to come there and say, this project started in 2013. Yes. Let me tell you about a report that was released yesterday by Bayo Ononuga, who was talking about how he got the wind of information that Dangote will be doing a refinery before 2013. The report is on the internet. Anybody can go read it. He said he was in an event, a media event, unveiling of a particular product. And they were talking about oil and gas industry. And he said it's only a foolish man, that is his word, a foolish man that would operate a refinery in Nigeria. And he said he heard the voice from nowhere that I am going to be the foolish man. And he looked back and he saw Dangote. And he told him that he is going to do it and this is the way he's going to do it. And I said, sir, apologies for using that word. But let's look at the conditions around it. Do you think the government would allow your refinery to function when it has its own function, its own 4 refineries? He said, he told him that there is a style to every business. That he should go and check his antecedent of businesses that is going to explore those things. Now, away from Bayo Ononuga's write-up and taking Dangote away, let's look at what he said, his style of doing business. This man has thrived in a business where he has monopolies. In other businesses that he has competitors, there are 2 things he usually do. It's either he leaves the business in entirety or he ground the business, that business, and make his own survive. Let's look at the noodles industry. he got into the noodles industry. He found that there is a particular brand that has been dominant. He sold the line to that brand. He came with sugar. He found out that there is a sugar who is but imported. With his help and that of others, I stand to be corrected. He grounded that sugar, and now he's the biggest sugar and salt producer in Nigeria. Maybe, I am not 100% sure. Maybe the reason why our other 4 refineries were never
functional.
Yes, was because they know that let's kill it so that we can give another individual, our person that will have a stake in his business, the opportunity to start a refinery. It could be what is playing out.
Definitely, there are different stories to be told, or different
questions.
In
as much as this, the federal government told us at that launching that they are going to save about 7 trillion naira fiscal expenditure from this project. Agreed. Those figures are scary. We should be talking about accountability. If we are talking about accountability, how accountable are we in Nigeria? We are good at mentioning figures.
Before we talk about accountability, because that is another aspect on its own, talking about transparency, accountability, management, and all that. The governor of Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, also said something yesterday. He said that the Dangote Refinery indicates that Nigeria can produce whatever it needs. And then when I saw the statement, I was like, Nigeria can produce whatever it needs. Is it that the governor had forgotten that we have 4 refineries that are not functioning? And he's making a statement to the Dangote Refinery that was built by. Don't you see this as a political statement?
It is always. He is right. Nigeria can produce whatever it needs.
You're not ready to. Okay.
If they are determined. And sometimes, if you call me to come and become an actor, sometimes when acting, I will forget and I will be saying the truth. But when I quickly remember that I'm acting here, I'll quickly change. He is stating what he knows so much about. Don't forget that there are several times. Okay, Dangote made mention of it. That there are times he will want to quit. That the CBN will quickly fund him. That no, this project should not die. They didn't say he came to make a request for money. And that made me to ask. Now CBN fund businesses even if you don't ask for money from them. I think I should start looking into such business.
We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah, so that CBN will come to me and ask me, let me give you money. Look at that project. There is no individual bank that has been celebrated in that project as a major financier of that business. That person is CBN. CBN has over time been said to be the person funding the business. And he asks himself, Central Bank of Nigeria, what is its major responsibility? To fund businesses? Maybe that one was just added.
Okay, of course you're talking about the Dangote 650,000 barrels capacity Dangote refinery that was commissioned yesterday, and of course of what benefit does this have to the country. Let's talk about the accountability. Yes, we know that Dangote Refinery, Aliko Dangote himself is a businessman, and he has a whole lot of aspect to his businesses, and of course he is a well-known and renowned businessman. But talking about this kind of project in relation to Nigeria, Nigeria's needs, okay, of course, which has to do with crude, petrol and the refined product. We'll be talking about people we'll be working with. Accountability, transparency. Nigeria, we are always emphasizing on these issues, especially when it has to do with implementation. In many quarters, they will say we have good policies, we have good laws, but our problem is the implementation, transparency, mismanagement of resources that Nigeria is blessed. How would you describe, let's say, yes, of course, it will kickstart production in July.
That was what we are told.
That was what we were told. Hopefully, let's just fast forward. It has started production and is going well. And even meeting 100%, let's just be hopeful. Meeting 100% capacity of Nigerian consumption. But what would you say about the sustainability plan? The aspect of accountability, aspect of transparency, to continue to meet the exact consumption. And then, secondly, add to that, we even, if possible, it meets 100% Nigeria need. Will this even give us a way or open a way for us to make or revive our refineries, even the four refineries that we have?
Okay, let's start from the case of accountability. It's a private business. If it chose not to be accountable to anybody, it is private business. It is not the federal government-owned business. So we can't hold him at the jugular to say how accountable to you as regards this business. He has told us what he would do with his personal business. If he comes out to tell us that I'm not doing that again, it is a case of that is the case of that business. Because it is business. It is not Nigeria and Dangote PLC. It is Dangote Refinery. Even if there are Nigerians individual under it, it is Dangote Refinery. Now, pricing. There's something called consumers are king. Customers is always right. It's one word that we usually use in Nigeria, but it's not. In most cases, we do not have consumer protections laws that can guide it. Now, if this company who is going to be producing petrol and coal for us says this is what I would do, can an individual as consumers, Nigerians, as the consumers of the brand Nigeria, can we say no? You cannot sell at this price. We will boycott your brand. We would stick with another brand. Can we? No. The government knows how to execute this project that it won't give you an option. It's either you cry and you patronize it and keep quiet. I could remember before, I think it was during former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, when he increased the price of the pump price of petrol. Our incumbent president and the president-elect and some other big political bigwigs did a roadwork. January 1 of that year, everything was a standstill, protesting that the pump price went to 125 naira. Then they have to negotiate and bring it back to 89 naira or 95 naira thereabout. I can't be really specific, but less than 100 naira. Now, this same set of people who protested the hike, the increase in pump price, are now sitting at the helms of affairs in government and seeing no reasons why they should not increase the pump price of petrol. Nobody in its or our widest dream could have ever imagined that the time will come in Nigeria when we buy petrol at close to 300 naira per litre. But we're buying it. Some sell for 210 and thereabout. But we're buying it. Have we made any roadblock? Have we made any noise? No. We grumble in silence and buy. At the point, consumers are even saying, well, if they like me, they sell them for 500 naira. We just see money they buy them. But where is the money to buy it? If this refinery, if the owner of this refinery decides to sell 500 naira per litre, can a civil servant who is minimum wage is 30,000 naira per month be able to fuel his generator? And if by chance he has a car, can that person fuel his vehicle? Do you know how many businesses is intertwined with petrol? Power is like something else. And the kind of praises, accolades we are giving the refinery, it's like we are saying, power, go and die. We have alternative. That is it. Because yes, this person is going to be generating so many things from this refinery. Fertilizer, petrochemicals, gas, so many things.
Yeah.
But the part is there. I think it's about 12,000 megawatts or something like that.
12,000.
That is going to be generating also.
To generate power for the whole southwest.
Let's see, do that will work.
Definitely the private.
Because the way it's sounding more like a white elephant project to me. It could be that maybe because I'm from the bush, I've not seen such exist. Maybe that's why the story is not connecting to me. But from the bush where I am from, I have seen Western words, Western climb who have done this, but not from an individual. Tell me the refinery that is being powered by an individual in a country that does not have a openly stated involvement of the federal government. Tell me. And we're putting on our babariga to go and celebrate an individual business to the detriment of our refineries, to the detriment of our own power sector.
Don't you see it as this Yoruba that says Al-IyamoyeTv?
Great.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is another one. Let's look at it from this angle. The refinery will start functioning by July, all things being equal, according to what they told us. Let's believe it will. Now, if the person starts operating in a pricing level that we're not comfortable with, maybe the president will now say, okay, it's a business. I can't control it. I will use tax and some fines to finish you. And I will go and do our whole. Put a face to our whole. Even if it's two out of the four, let it function. My fear.
Okay.
Somebody has spent $27 billion on those refineries on 2 different occasions, and it did not see daylight. Money enough to build what we are celebrating. Now, if they are telling us that they are going to spend that amount of money again to go and look at it, will that money materialize to something physical? Will it not be an avenue for somebody to embezzle or to walk away with money? What has happened to Abacha loot? What has happened to all the loans that we've collected? See, governance, it's so simple that, do you know, we can approach the World Bank, we can approach the China, we can approach the big people who give out money to say, I want to raise a bond. I want to do my refinery. You are going to bring your engineers. You will pay them, but it's my debt. And they will revive one of the refineries. But the country will be servicing the debt. Is that too much? Have they not done it in other areas? Have you not seen in this country where a road was constructed by a private organization and the person towed the road and they started receiving gate fee, what is it called? Toll gate fee.
Gate fee.
To get his own money back as a particular period of years. Are we saying we do not have the money bags, the rich set of people, even if one cannot do it, 2, 3, 4, who can come together to resuscitate our refinery? If Nigeria is so dear to the mind and heart of Dangote too, why is it that he did not pick up one of the refineries and say, let me buy it over, let me start from the ground, revive it? He didn't do that. He went to go and do a new one. What that tells me is that there is an agenda.
All right, so of course, this is still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and we're still looking into different aspects to the Dangote Refinery that was commissioned yesterday. All right, because of our time, from the body language of the president-elect, and because somebody had to, I saw the report, though it was not all out, but you would, I just saw the report of the absence of the president-elect. What would you say are the first steps to be taken, or the major steps to be taken by the administration, the president-elect, I mean the new administration now, because May 29, hopefully the inauguration will be held, and of course towards the production, the kick-starting of the production of Dangote Refinery. What do you think should be the major steps to be taken by the new administration concerning our crude oil production, exporting, importing, and all of that?
I don't want us to be too hopeful about the new administration.
Oh, okay.
I don't want us to start building castle in the air for the new administration. And I don't want us to feel so much in expectance of what the new administration will do. Because if we do, and we do not get those things at our own time frame, we will feel disappointed. Let's see how this administration, the new administration, will hit the ground running. Let's see policies that will change things. Let's see if there is going to be a government of inclusiveness that the president-elect has told us that is going to run. Let's see if there is not going to be some set of cabals like the way it was or it is in this administration. Let's see if there would not be cabals. Let's see if there are policies that will have direct effect on the common man. That is where we can say, okay, this is what we are expecting from this government.
Okay.
See, I think it should have been a lesson to Nigerians that if anybody is coming to tell you that I have 20 agendas, 30 agendas, it does not work. This administration, the new administration that is going to be sworn in by May 29 has not told us any of its agenda. Except if there is any that I don't know of yet or I can't remember at this point. But let's see. By the time the government assumed the position of leadership, let's see the agenda they are going to bring forward.
Okay.
Let's see if they are going to put 10, 20 together at once. Or let's see that the government will tell us, for this year, my major concentration is power. For this year, my major concentration is refinery. Let's see.
But do you think it should solely rely on the production from Dangote Refinery, at least for a while, before we start thinking?
No, we cannot solely rely on it. The importations of byproducts of petroleum will continue to be in existence. It will continue to. Because the Dangote Refinery has told us that it's going to be giving us 650,000 barrels per day. Yes, that is the capacity of the refinery.
The total capacity.
He cannot start operating with the total capacity at once. He will not. He must start with, okay, let me start with the 300,000. Let me start with 200,000. So the importation will come. Don't forget that the consumption we're talking about for Nigeria is about 480,000. Now, if truly it is, have we added the one that is being smuggled to other countries? Have we added the ones that those who are majorly in the business of bunkering, have we added it? So, if he is even providing 650,000 and he has told us that I have other customers, but for you not to feel bad, I will give the customer 40 and I will give you the 60 if you are not owing him new. By the time you are not paying for it, it will turn the other way around. It will give the customer 60 and give you at home 40. Because he knows that the 40 I'm going to give you, how sure are you that it's even going to be sold in Nigeria? How sure that that percentage is going to give you is not the ones that those who are going to be smuggling it will be buying from?
All right. I mean, this has been a fantastic conversation because contrary to what everyone has been expecting or the way they've set their expectations at the kickstart of the production from Dangote Refinery,
I'm sorry if I've made anybody to feel bad about this landmark achievement, but I don't see us. It is. I am a lover of what is good. I'm not enemy of progress, but I don't celebrate mediocre. I want us to be optimistic with our celebration. I don't want us to start counting our chicken before the egg. I want us to start looking at, okay, this has been established. Let's see it running before we give a thumb up. Antecedents in Nigeria will make me not to quickly jump at any celebration that government is celebrating. Because it looks more like a movie.
Because when I was listening to a conversation from, people that heard about the refinery and what the federal government had said at inauguration, what to provide this and that, everybody was already expecting like in July, June, August, September, then the price of petrol
will be 10 naira per liter.
will be lesser. All right.
Let's let them go and see videos of how the funfair that went with the inauguration of Nigerian Air. The amount of money that was put into the project to design logo, to design website, is close to the amount of money we are using for this refinery. And the left right, a click, it has no function to date. One tire of airplane we do not have to date here in Nigeria. And in Nigeria, whatever they call it.
Well, our hope will not be set on fire. We'll continue to hope for the better in the country, and of course we know that one day we'll get it right. We'll keep emphasizing, we'll keep hammering until we get it right. Just one day. Of course, Oluwafisayomi Ajibola has been my guest having this conversation with this morning on Periscope, a journalist, broadcaster, brand analyst, blogger, and communication strategies, among many other of his expertise. Thank you once again for coming around this morning.
Thank you
for
so much.
gracing our station, Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do ya? You're a friend of the house.
You will see me tomorrow. You will see me tomorrow as the host of Periscope.
All right, thank you so much once again for joining us on Periscope, on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Like, comment, subscribe, and definitely it is of great pleasure to us right here. Thank you once again. I remain MODUPE AKINYOSOYE. Good morning.